All right. Well, after reviewing again the videos that I had done or the video rather that I had done to make up for the days that I had missed initially, I trashed it because I am again suffering through um, some pretty serious pressure headaches. I mean, I am right now. Um, I'm just going to show you. I look like trash. I've barely slept. If you want to see my age, this is it. No makeup, no sleep. My eye is probably going to twitch if I keep these off for too long because the light sensitivity is pretty bad. So yeah, we've got Maleficent with my motherfucking tea. This mug is absolutely as huge as it looks. I had actually bought one for my mom because she really likes the Evil Queen from Snow White, and I like Maleficent. I mean, black, purple, green, evil, magic. At any rate, I am going to try and do this. I'm going to bang this one out. We're going to count this one as days 15 and 16 of VEDA. I'm going to upload it, then we're going to go again. I am hoping that I can make this a little better because it is like 3 o'clock and 3:30 in the afternoon. So I'm a little more coherent, in just as much pain, and I'm still just as exhausted, but I'm hoping that I can come up with a point a little better. So I figured what I'd do to start with to make this a little easier on me is I've got the old lappy top over to the side here, along with my tea, and I'm just going to go over briefly some of the comments from music and my Titanic videos, and address Clay's questions as well. And then once this is uploaded, I will make a video addressing why my week has been so why my week has been so shitty. Um, and it's going to involve some bitching about work, and I'm sorry about that. I'm not going to say specifics. Anybody who I have talked to about this knows where I work and knows my grievances, but it's mostly not about that. It's mostly about things out of my control. So yeah, let's see. For my one doubleheader, I had talked about music that I liked, addressing another question, and I just wanted to say that was a very small sample, and I was forced to quit the video early because people were coming home, and I filmed this in my lovely studio office of the bathroom, so I kind of had to get out of here real quick. So my apologies. Um, Also, because 16 gigs of space is not enough for my musical needs, it wasn't really a good track. I mean, there's pretty much any. I'll listen to pretty much anything out of every, or there's probably at least one thing out of every genre that I would listen to. At least one. I mean, there's some Canadian rap artists I really like, and rap is not hugely my thing. There's a couple of other songs like that I like. Um, I also don't get locked into language. There's a lot of songs I like that I'll go and look up the translations for. Like I said, I like a lot of Rammstein. Gogo Bordello kind of goes back and forth between languages. I listen to a lot of Japanese rock, a little bit of J-pop, a little bit of K-pop. My interests just kind of stray all over the place. I just tend to stay within, and I'm going to say the larger umbrellas because I'm not going to go into every subgenre of fucking prog or, industrial or whatever of rock and metal and, kind of harder stuff because that's what kind of comes naturally to me. But I mean, I like some country. There's a lot of country I like. It just doesn't happen to be most of the new stuff. Um, so yeah. Um, Squall actually mentioned seeing live acts, and that was the thing I should have touched on as well. I've gone to a fair amount of concerts, not as many as I would have liked to recently. The last one I went to was Ninja Sex Party, and they were fucking awesome. If you can get a chance to see NSP, I know they said they're going to start touring again soon. They're going to be dropping announcement dates. I don't know when, but I'm hoping they'll come back to Toronto. They played at Rebel. They were really fucking good. Go see them if you can get to see them, but you better be prepared to sit there and fucking snap up those tickets right when they drop because they sell out so quickly. But beyond that, it's like I wish I'm well, I've already managed to get tickets to see Stephen Page, so Page Obsession continues, and they're free. and it's in Oakville, so it's not even that far away. I may actually go see him again in July. We'll see. Um, but the Trues were really good to see in concert. I saw them live in just a stupid shitty little club here in Hamilton, and they were great. Muse, I would really like to have a mulligan because I went to see them at the Air Canada Center. Um, Except I was in fucking nosebleedest of nosebleed seats to see them. I was behind a pole up in nowhere land. So I would really like to make the effort to try and get better tickets because, yeah, Matt Bellamy is fucking awesome. I love that dude. Um, there's other bands that I've seen. Like I've seen Metallica. I saw Metallica during the Load tour. I've seen Our Lady Peace. Our Lady Peace, I really like. Gosh, so many people. I saw this country band called the Mavericks. They're one of my favorite country bands actually, and they kind of meander. They're another one of those bands that, especially lately, they kind of meander in and about through country and kind of wobble through other genres, which is something that I'm perfectly fine with. It's like Garth Brooks. I like Garth Brooks. I like older Garth Brooks, where he kind of melded between country and rock, and I thought it was a good blend at the time. But the Mavericks were really good to see. Um, Again, Raul Malo, the lead singer, is Hispanic, so there's blurred lines between language and some of the songs. And also, I've noticed that in the top 10 radio station that now we are permanently forced to listen to at work, the country version of it, because there's only two radio stations we get, top 10 pop, top 10 country. Both basically the same thing, just different artists. Actually, some of them intertwine, which is really fucking weird. But they do not. When they do their retro throwback songs, they never play the Mavericks ever, which makes me wonder why. But fuck them. So I try not to pay attention. They also play this really annoying cover of a Tom Cochrane song, "Life Is a Highway," and I fucking hate it. Like I'm really open to covers most of the time, but I fucking hate this cover. I loathe it. I mean, Tom Cochrane's, and Red Rider and all that. That's I really, really like their music, and just listening to that, it's like, oh, fuck my life. I can't stand it. Cannot stand it. Anyway, but yeah, I'm kind of hoping that if System of a Down does expands on the dates that they're doing, I've always wanted to go see System of a Down live. There's a lot of acts I'd like to see live. I almost got to see Cake live, and Cake again is one of my favorite kind of out of character bands for me. And they ended up canceling the show, and it was on my birthday, like years and years ago, and I was so pissed off. Um, okay, go. Um, I'd like to see Metallica again. They'd be pretty cool to see again. I really enjoyed seeing them. I don't know. I'm basically going to start trying to force myself to pay attention to who's actually going to be in and around the area, including in Toronto, because I've kind of, like I said, I've locked myself away for so long. And I mean, money was part of it. Money is always part of it. But, you know, do I really need that 12? Do I really need that case of cola? No, not all the time. So I'm going to try see if I can get out to some more concerts because there's plenty of other artists I would fucking love to go and see. So yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna be sniffling a lot. My eye may twitch, and I'm really sorry. I'm kind of been having fitzy malls because of the lack of sleep and because of the pain, both here and down in my ankle. So this is not going to be the best of Tom Berry, which is fine. I mean, like Krillick said in her video before, you know, you can't all be perfect all the time, and we're not. And I just couldn't. I can't be bothered to put any effort into my appearance today. I'm like this close to putting my head through a fucking cement wall as it is. So, um, yeah. Squall. I've heard of Hollywood Vampires, and I love Alice Cooper, and I've heard Johnny Depp is a decent musician. I just haven't had. No, I haven't. It's not that I haven't had a chance. It's just I haven't bothered to sit down and listen, and I think I will, just because it's probably in my alley. Also, you're right. Thornley should have gotten more radio play. I do love Big Wreck, but I also love a lot of the stuff that Thornley came out with as well. To be fair, though, I mean, radio stations like 102.1 The Edge did give Thornley a lot of airplay, but the nature of radio and I mean, especially music on television these days is so ephemeral now. It's just basically if you're not pushing out booty or tits or wearing gold chains and screaming out, profanities, a lot of these stations just don't care anymore. I mean, that's what the kids like. Okay. And Acrylic, Arden. I like Evanescence as well, and so does my Uncle Terry, so you two would get along great. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Going back to that, if you like something, fuck, I don't know. If you like Jim Croce, cool. Side note, Clay. One of the songs I actually have on my iPod is one that is not very politically correct for these days, but I feel like it's a song you would like. It's called Freaking Out the Freaker's Ball. It's by Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. I'm almost certain you know this song. It seems like the exact song. I remember liking it as a kid, but it is not a song you break out anymore because it is so unpolitically correct, even though it has a positive message in using the words and the terms that it is. I don't know. It just seems like a song you would like. Okay. And I like the MCR too, Clay. Nothing wrong with some MCR. No, no doubt. Let's see. Okay, your questions. Since I'm a special effects geek as well as a book nerd, I like to know if I'm talking to a similar species. So, what is your favorite bad special effects moment in early classic Doctor Who? I should have thought about that one a little more. My head is like freaking out right now. Just trying to think of what story I'm thinking of. You know what? Let me get back to you on that one. I want to give that one more thought. Maybe I'll even just talk about Doctor Who and the bad special effects in general in another video and just discuss the difficulties of getting into classic Who because I think that'll kind of serve better. So I think I'll be able to do your question more justice. Plus, I'd like to have time to think about it, and because there's some doozies. There's some great stuff. Some of the Tom Baker era stuff. Woo-hoo-hoo. Once you don't have the black and white to mask a lot of those props, man. Oh boy. Let's see. Question number 2. Out of all the books you know exist, are there any that you would really love to have, but you've never been able to put your hands upon? This is gonna sound dumb. I think I might have talked about it in the book video. There is a series that The Great Mouse Detective is based on called Basil of Baker Street. It's by Eve Titus, and they are absolutely out of print, very out of print. They've been out of print for decades, and I'm missing one or two books from that series, and I would really love to get a hold of them. I know it seems weird to say that. I've got a couple of really old ones. I've of older editions of Sherlock Holmes publications. I've got one from the 1800s. I kind of always keep my eye out in thrift shops. I've got some. I think I'm missing one out of the original. Was it Gold Key? It might have been Gold Key publications of the James Bond novels, and they came out in two forms. There was ones with the movie covers, so like the Sean Connery movie covers, and then there was ones with a more kind of traditional book cover. So I wouldn't mind figure if I actually sat down and went through all my books, I wouldn't mind trying to find that last one that I'm missing. Um, there's probably more. There's always more. Um, I wouldn't mind owning a set of um, Howard Carter's documentation. It's like volumes and volumes and volumes of cataloging the artifacts, but also his experience in excavating King Tut's tomb. And yeah, there's probably a lot of other sciency and historical kind of books that I'd really like to